Hello again. Today I'm in Lauritz shop here, and we're attending a scraping class. And we brought in Richard King from the United States for 5 days of scraping, and this is our 4th day. So we've gone through the basic scraping skills and doing some flat scraping, and everybody's working on their projects now. So could you tell a little bit about your classes, Richard?
I've been teaching the classes for approximately 30 years, and I've got about 20,000 students worldwide. And I started teaching the classes at General Motors in the United States originally. And we discovered that the optimum size was 6 to 8 people, and like we have here. And when I teach, I don't want to just teach scraping. My classes, I call them rebuilding classes. I teach you how to rebuild your worn machinery. Because anybody can scrape flatness, but it takes the mind and being a detective to learn how to scrape for alignment and for the machines.
Richard has done an incredibly good job of teaching us here, and I've been scraping some pretty flat surfaces, and I thought I would never learn this much, so I'm already impressed with the teachings here. And
thank you. Yeah, I'm not any smarter than anyone else, but I had a good teacher. And I want to give you what my father taught me. Yeah. So someday you're doing this, you're giving yourself and your knowledge to other people.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to show some scraping stuff on YouTube in the future, some of what I've learned from Richard here. And now I'm going to go around with the camera and show everybody else's project and show what we're all doing here. So,
well, hello. I'm the guy, along with the guy from Norway, that unfortunately had to go home a bit early, that organized the class. So to begin with, we thought we could only get one class, but he ended up getting enough students to hold one in Norway, and I've got enough to hold one in Sweden. And we hope to make this a recurring event with time. And as the other people have told you, for the past few days we've done the basics, and now we're moving on to projects. And I have a small Atlas shaper that I've started attacking, and some of the parts are quite bad. I have 2000s low, so it's a bit banana shaped, so I have perhaps 10 cycles to go before I get it down. And I have all the rest of the parts as well to get done. But Henning is helping me. So besides marking up on the surface plate and getting indications where it's touching, you can use a straight edge and feeler gauges. And in this case it's 25 thousandths, and that you can still get under here. So there's quite a bit to go on these pads to get it in. And you have to, as Richard says, start at the foundation and build upwards, just like building a house.
My name is Lars Börje Jareteg. I have an engineering workshop called Jaretegs Mekaniska Verkstad in Borås, Sweden. Right now I'm scraping a surface plate, and I'm using a scraping machine called Biax.
My name is Christian Dahlqvist. I'm attending this course. Normally I'm an electronic engineer, so this is quite different, but I like machining. So my project is a angle shelf. So I'm trying to scrape it in flat and in exactly 90 degrees. And it wasn't 90 degrees, so I had to step scrape it, like make lines and do 1, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, until I get it flat and check it on the surface plate every time. And now it's quite in the right angle, so now I'm roughing the blue spots to get it better, so I can start to get a better pattern and get it flatter.
Yeah, hello. My name is Henning Jonsson. I run a one-man machine shop for a living. And I'm about to show you a bit. I'm helping out our great host here, Lauritz, with his small Atlas shaper. And this is the compound, it's called maybe, for the tools to go up and down. So what I'm doing here, I'm trying to create these two planes flat and parallel. So what you do, you glue it up, and it should be so thin that you can see the granite through the paint, or else it will smear the part and you will get false readings. So you glue it up thin so you can see, and wipe it with your hand, feel there's no dirt or grit. Place your part on. And it doesn't matter which way or direction you move the part on the table. And here you can see the bluing transfer. And after you have blown, you always hinge your part on the table. And it should be about 30% in from each end. So here we can see it's hinging right at this corner. So it's a bit high here. And the other side hinges in the middle about 30% in. So that side is good, but we got a high spot here. And a way to getting your eyes on that spot is to rub it against the granite and look for the shiny spots, and then you just scrape them. And I can show you how I do to scrape just these small spots. It's pretty hard to see on the camera, I guess, but in real life you'll be able to see the high spots pretty easily. Yeah, I found that when you're just hitting small spots, it's easier to use a method called bump scraping. I found it much easier to control the length of the stroke by this method. And I do it like this, keeping it close to my body. And that's the process, and then go back to the granite table.
I put a picture of it on. Yeah, this guy, he wanted to sell it. Yeah, and he grinds with it.
Yeah, well, I thought they were like a chicken on steroids, because it's beefed up good stuff. At least the ones that in school they were abused that much.
Oh yeah.
So I couldn't really.
It got like parts. It was a mainstay. It was actually the first, I think, first knee universal or the imports.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of things.
This is my own project. This is the compound slide for my Schablin 120 VM. And it was seizing up when I got to this part, so when I cranked it forward, it got a bit too tight. And so what Richard told me was that first I scraped this part flat to have something to indicate of. So I did that. And then I started to indicate for the four corners here, because I have the original surface here. And I found out that those 4 points weren't in the same plane. And that's a bit odd, since it's a precision lathe and they should be in the same plane. But probably the answer to why is on the other side. Because this is not original, because the original is cast up here also. So probably some accident happened and some chunks got pulled off, and then they machined off some of the casting and replaced it with steel. So the entire part here was a little bit bent, and that could be from the impact when the accident happened, or it could be stresses that were relieved when machining the other side. So what I'm doing now is I'm scraping one side flat here, and then I'm going to scrape the other side flat and parallel, and then I'm going to start working on the dovetail here.
Ja, välgjord, rätt smart. Inget speciellt fel utan ganska rakt upp och ner men bra gjort.
I'm here at Lauritz's nice granite table that's totally flat, and I started by scraping this surface, and now I scraped this surface, but this one is still unscraped. So now I'm going to check how parallel this surface is in relationship to this surface. So I'm flipping this over, and then I'm going to use this dial indicator and slide it underneath here, and I'll start by sliding it underneath the scraped side. And I've set this so the needle should be at 0, and as I slide this, the needle bounces around, but it's still like around 0, and it has some surface irregularities which it's supposed to have. Now if I take this and I go over to the other side, you'll see that over here there's no wear at the corners, so here the needle is like at 3, so this has to be scraped down, and it's as I slide this down here it goes to around 0 because this is the worn part, and as I go farther back the needle will go up a little bit because it's less worn here. So as you can see it goes up here, and here it's at 3 or 4, so I'll have to scrape a lot here and a lot here in order to make this surface also flat. Well, I'm getting back to scraping my Schaubling compound slide now, and hopefully I'm going to upload some scraping videos to YouTube eventually. If you ever get a chance to go to Richard King's scraping class, I highly recommend that. So see you later, bye bye.